All right, hey guys, welcome back. I hope everybody had a good spring break, and I hope you're ready to do something a little bit different today. So our challenge today is going to be to complete a form, kind of like a scavenger hunt, where you're going to have to go through and gather clues. Now, I'll admit that the clues at the end really don't make sense. There's 4 of them. They're social studies related. You're going to need to keep track of what they are so that you can remember what it is that we're actually asking for at the end. But I went ahead and made a different final answer for every grade period or every period of the day, and so it made it a little bit weird at the end, but just play along with it anyway and you'll at least get the idea. You'll get a little bit of social studies review, but we're also going to look at a few of the topics that we've covered over the past few months, and I hope it's just kind of a fun way for you to interact with all of this stuff. Teachers, I'm going to recommend that you start out by go ahead and maybe do it as a class activity during first period. And then what I'd like to see you do is be able to challenge maybe later classes throughout the day to be able to have them do it in teams or groups, maybe in partnerships, or maybe even they do it individually, and see who can get done the fastest and maybe record some times and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's get at it. So our link for today is going to come here at edtech.link/6SS for social studies and BO for breakout. That's kind of what this activity is. It's called a breakout EDU activity, where you have to go and solve different parts of things to open up different locks or different places to be able to get to the next spot. So we're doing all that digitally instead of doing it with physical lock boxes like some people do. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come to a form that looks something like this. And not something like this, it'll look exactly like this. Now, I don't want to give away any answers, but you can't complete this form and move on to the next section until you get all of these answers exactly correct. So let's just say that I thought the answer to this first one is dog. And if I go ahead and type that in here, you see it starts to say, sorry, that's the wrong answer. Now, let's say that the answer was actually dog food. And it might say that until I start typing in the word food. And once I get to the end, if it was the correct thing, which I don't want to type now or else I'd be giving away an answer, that message will go away. So when you think you have the right answer there, if that message doesn't disappear, then you're not right. And when you go down to submit at the bottom of this, it's just not going to let you go anywhere. It's going to tell you, hey, you got to get all these other ones right first. So I've got another form here that I was going to look at with you just to give ourselves a quick idea of what we just said. So we know that our superintendent is Mr. Lamb, and so if I start typing that out, you noticed even as I got up to right there, it said sorry, and I gave a little clue or a little hint or clue on that one, said, be sure to capitalize the first letter. But as soon as I get it right, that changes and it just has a white space. That tells me that the answer is correct. So once you have that, you can move on to the next question. Now, once I come down here to the day, this was actually done on a Monday. And so you see that I start typing and it says it's definitely not Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What is left? Well, obviously that's Monday. Well, what do you think I did wrong? Maybe it was capitalizing that first letter of Monday. So as soon as I click on that, sure enough, it works. And then I would be able to hit this submit button, or in your case with the real form, you'd be hitting the next button, and that next button will take you to your first clue. Once you get through your first clue, make sure you write that down. It's going to kind of talk to you and explain to you what it is that you're going to want to put in at the end. There's 4 parts, so after you get all 4 of those parts, at the end, just make sure you select the right class period. And then once you get to the very end of the form, the message that would come up, and so this isn't the same message, but within the message for the form that you have, you're going to see a link right up here in the text. And when you go to that link, it's got some silly videos on it that you can see where I made fun of Miss Harden, Miss Hatcher, and Miss Williams. I couldn't make fun of Miss Walden because I couldn't find a picture of her. But anyway, hopefully you guys can find that stuff, and I hope that this comes in as a little different activity that maybe you can have some fun with. Teachers, I have given you all of the answers to all of the questions in the email that had this link, so make sure that you get that pulled out. And like I said, you might want to start off with doing this as a class activity where you put the form up at the front of the board and let them find answers. Then later periods, maybe once you're more comfortable and kind of know how all of it works, then you can go ahead and maybe challenge them to do it with partners or in teams. And they can kind of take turns answering different questions, or they can split up the questions on each page. But that's why it's split up into different parts. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. Get busy.